in Southeast Asia, and Istiqlal in Arabic it means independence. So this mosque is located right across from this church. So this is also like one of the oldest churches in Indonesia, one of the oldest Catholic churches. It's been here since 1829. And Indonesia is like this huge mixing pot. We have 1,340 different ethnic groups. You can see like in the map, you can see there are so many ethnic groups in Indonesia, and that's why we look so different from each other. On your left-hand side, you can see the typical Indonesian. That's our president and his wife. And in the middle, we have a Chinese Indonesian, which look Chinese, but a lot of them can't speak Chinese because there was a time where Chinese was banned in Indonesia, like around 1998. Yeah. And on the right-hand side, we have people from the west part of Indonesia. They're from a place called Papua, and sometimes people mistake them for being African or Americans. Okay, next up, I'm gonna introduce about Indonesian foods. So other than our famous instant noodles, we also have rendang and nasi goreng, which are the first and second in CNN's World's 50 Best Foods in 2011. So rendang is actually a beef cooked in coconut milk and spices, and we have to cook them for at least 7 hours. And nasi goreng, it literally means fried rice. But in Indonesia, to cook fried rice, we use a lot of soy sauce. So it's really sweet, and often the color is very brown, like almost black. And we also have a lot of Indonesian restaurants in Taipei. So in Taosuai, I have two favorite Indonesian restaurants. It's called Gomart and Dorajaya. It's near the MRT station. And in Taipei, we have Batavia and Chandu. And Indonesia also have a lot of Dutch-inspired foods because Indonesia used to be colonized by the Dutch for 350 years. So these are some of my favorite Dutch-inspired foods from Indonesia. The first one is called semur, and the Dutch name, I don't know how to spell it, I don't know how to say it, but it's spelled like s'more. It's beef, and we have perkedel and kroket, which are potatoes with vegetables, and they're really delicious. And we also have salad solo. The Dutch name is Holland beef stew. Holland is Dutch, and beef stew is beef steak. And we have this snack called klapper tart. So the Dutch and Indonesian names are the same. It's a snack made of coconut and almonds and a lot of sweet stuff. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about natural waters. By the way, if you guys wanna try the Indonesian food we mentioned before, we have the line of Gomart. This is not sponsored, by the way, but if you wanna try, we can give you her line. She can speak Chinese, so you can text her in Chinese. Okay, moving on. We have, so we're located at the Ring of Fire. So we have a lot of volcanoes, like there are 147 volcanoes in Indonesia, and it might look a little bit dangerous to live here, but it's okay actually. And they're really beautiful. And the best part is you can actually climb them. So this is one of the most famous one. It's called Mount Rinjani and Semeru, and they're still active to this day. And you can climb them, but if you're too tired, you can also take a car. Like for example, we have been here before. This is called Mount Bromo. We didn't go here on foot, so we took a car. You can rent a car, but actually you will see a more beautiful view if you walk on foot because you can get to the top of the volcano. But I think this one is already pretty cool, and you can ride horses. You can take some really cool pictures here. And if you want to climb these volcanoes, we have never climbed one before, but our friends they spend at least 1 to 2 days to get on top of the volcano. And this is Lake Toba. So this is a really huge lake. I think it's more like an ocean than a lake because you can see it's very huge. Like it's over 1,000 square kilometers, and the depth is 450 meters in some places. Why is this lake so big? Is because it was formed by super volcanic eruption 74,000 years ago, and it is actually the world's largest crater lake and the largest lake in Southeast Asia and one of the deepest in the world. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Okay, now if you are gonna visit Indonesia, these are the must visit places that you have to go to. First, we have this Buddhist temple called Borobudur. It's located in the island of Java, and this temple was built in the 8th century, so it's now already over 1,200 years old, and it has an area of 15,000 square meters. So you can see how tiny the people are compared to the temple. And this temple is built from volcanic rocks cut into blocks. So it is built from volcanic rocks because it is surrounded by mountains. And it's arranged vertically or horizontally. And what makes this temple so special is because it is built without adhesive. And it is the biggest Buddhist temple in the world. We also have a big Hindu temple. It's the largest Hindu temple in Indonesia and also the 7th largest in the world. And this temple was built in the 9th century, 50 years after Borobudur, and it's also located in Java. In fact, they are so near to each other. And why do we have the biggest Buddhist temple and also a huge Hindu temple? Is because at the very beginning, Indonesia was ruled by Buddhist and also Hindu kingdoms. And another place you have to visit, I'm sure everyone has heard of Bali, but a lot of foreigners, sometimes they think that Bali is a completely different country from Indonesia, but it's not. It's an island located beside Java. And of course, when you go to Bali, you have to visit the beautiful beaches, like this beach right here, Planking Beach. You can go down there to the beach by walking down like 1,000 steps of stairs. And you can visit our Ubud Monkey Forest, which is a forest full of monkeys. They roam freely on the streets, and you have to be careful because they can steal your belongings, but it's really fun. And when in Bali, you have to be careful not to step on those offerings because it's part of the Hindu culture. So in Bali, most people's religions are Hindu, and they often place those offerings in front of the door. So foreigners often make a mistake that they step on it. And you also have to visit Bali Safari Park because here you can rent a cage like that at night, and then you can feed the tigers, which is really cool. And we also have this rice terrace that is famous lately because you can take cool pictures here, but actually it's just a rice field. But in Indonesia, a lot of our rice fields are shaped like that because a lot of the rice fields are located in mountains. And when you go to Bali, instead of staying at a hotel, we recommend you to stay at Airbnbs. Like this Airbnb is really popular. It's called the Hideout Beehive. It's located deep in the forest. And this is not sponsored, but we just really like it. So this Airbnb, it's very in touch with nature. You can feel the nature of Bali more. And also another island that not a lot of foreigners know is called Labuan Bajo. So compared to Bali, this island is much more beautiful and it's still much more pure and clean. And the most famous island in Labuan Bajo is Pulau Padar. And you also have to visit Labuan Bajo because we have an island full of Komodo dragons. So these dragons are actually very huge lizards. They are larger than a grown man, and they are very dangerous because they have venomous tongue like snakes. And also they run really fast and they can swim. So when you visit this island, you have to go with a tour guide or else you can get bitten because it has happened before. And we also have this beautiful pink beach. So the sand is pink because of microscopic coral insects, and it's really beautiful. Okay, and when you go to Labuan Bajo again, instead of staying at a hotel, you can rent like a boat hotel for days. So inside this hotel, you can get 3 meals a day and also a free barbecue night. And the bedroom is really beautiful. And also, the boat can take you snorkeling and diving. So they will stop at the middle of the ocean, and then you can go to Manta Point and snorkel and dive with turtles and manta rays. Okay, that's it. Thank you.